So today is all about getting stuck in your career, being perfectionist, being mean to yourself, and this is especially for women over 40, because we judge ourselves very strongly, and this could be one of your biggest limiting patterns, possibly in career, possibly even in relationship, wherever it is. Now, it's about the inner critic. See, we can be really kind to other people at times, but then we can be really critical and harsh and picky with ourselves. We can expect ourselves to have much higher standards than what we expect from other people. And this is one of the ways in which we can just bully ourselves. So a lot of the women who come to me, when they talk about this, I'm just a perfectionist, and that stops them. That can stop you from getting that real dream job that you want. That can stop you from finding the perfect match or the guy in your life or whoever it is, whatever it is you're looking for. So, perfectionism does have a purpose. And one of the exercises I did with my client recently was to find out, well, what is the purpose of your perfectionism? And usually it is because we have a basic need for recognition, for love, for attention, for admiration, for encouragement, for care, for trust. Could be any of those basic needs. And it's because we want to have that need fulfilled that we push ourselves to be perfect. We expect ourselves to be perfect. We are cruel to ourselves when we are not perfect. And the fact is, nothing is perfect. It's never going to be perfect. And it causes a lot of pain when we cannot accept how we are, what we've achieved so far. And it's just a way of really causing a lot of inner stress within ourselves. So the perfectionism for my client, for example, made her procrastinate a lot because she was always waiting for the perfect time. And of course, now years have passed because she's waiting for that perfect time to make her move. And of course, it's never going to come because there is no perfect time. It's like people who waited after COVID, when COVID is finished, after 2 weeks, after 2 months, after 2 years. It's still ongoing. The time to act, the time to make a change, the time to get that thing done, whatever it is you need to get done, is only now. So if you're thinking of applying for something or doing something or getting something done or starting that eating plan or starting your exercise, or making that move on that person that you want to be with, or changing your lifestyle in any way, now is the time. So the perfectionist has mighty weapons. It's a glass, it's a looking glass of perfection. And the perfectionist inner mean girl has the power to zoom in on everything that you are not. And she will make you feel like you failed. And she will say things like, you should have, you could have, why didn't you do this? This could have been better. You are not enough. She will also set you ridiculous expectations. I'll tell you my story. When I was working, I would expect myself to work till 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up again at 7 a.m., have a small child, baby at that time, and I would always say, yes, got a chance for a work opportunity. Yes, I can do that, not thinking that this is actually 3 or 5 people's work that I'm doing. So the perfectionist will make you criticize yourself and possibly criticize others. Expect yourself to be perfect first time. Maybe you're learning something, you're learning to paint, for example, and you just want it perfect immediately. So this judging yourself, overthinking, over-focusing on details that don't even matter, or pointing out what isn't perfect. The procrastination. She'll say to you, this inner mean girl will say, you're not enough, you're not good enough, it's worthless, what's the point, it's not perfect. Or you should have figured this out by now. What's wrong with you? you aren't doing it right. It'll never be perfect, so just forget about it. You can't share this or put this out into the world until it's perfect. Well, here you go. My YouTube videos are not perfect. I have typos in a lot of my quotations. I'm still putting them out there, right? Because the time is now. So in the next section, I'm going to take you through some exercise to help you contemplate on how you might be being a perfectionist, or you just might be being mean to yourself. And we'll go through the exercise together. Wonderful. So here are the steps to drop perfection and to be kind to yourself. So we spoke earlier about how women in general can be mean to themselves through this mode of perfectionism. And now I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pen and take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to just contemplate, where do I do this? Where do I actually be mean to myself? Maybe you're not a total perfectionist, but maybe you just have higher standards for yourself in certain places. And that can kind of get you down, because then you feel disappointed, or you feel not enough, or you criticize yourself, or you overwork, overgive, overthink. So if you were to be really, really honest, where do you do this? You could do it with your money, for example. You could do it in your health and fitness. You could be doing it in your parenting or the way you manage people at work. Could be in your career when you think about other better opportunities, for example, or asking for what you need. Could be in just work-life balance in general. It could be in relationships as well. So I want you to just write down where you do it, when you do it, other times when you don't do it. I know, for example, I used to do it a lot in my trainings, and I would prepare possibly 3 days of training for a one-day event. So 3 days of preparation for a one-day event. And of course, I'd only get paid for the one-day event. And then I'd kick myself because obviously I overgave, I overprepared. And eventually I learned that actually a loose draft plan rather than a perfectly typed up, color coded trainer's notes would have been absolutely enough. With some leeway for playfulness and for creativity and to do things out of the box and to take questions and answers. But I packed it all in because I wanted it to be perfect. And that actually is one of the things that led to my burnout. So what I realize now is it's okay, even if I prepare 50% of the time I'm actually going to train, that's probably more than enough. And so when I think about when I don't do it, I know I do not do it in my paintings. I have almost zero judgment. Like this is just playtime, whatever comes out. If it delights me, fine. It doesn't delight me, fine. I can just change it. I mean, everything's going to change anyway, isn't it? So I have a very playful, relaxed attitude when I think about my painting, how I paint, what I think of my paintings afterwards. Some people are like, oh, you should sell these paintings. I'm like, oh, really? I just have I don't have no comment almost. And it's just my fun thing to do. So where do you do it? And just for comparison, where do you not do it? That's worth contemplating. Now, the second step is to find out the part of you that is critical, or the part of you that feels it's not enough, or the part of you that judges you, or the part of you that sets double the standards for yourself than for other people. That part of you, where do you feel it in your body, first of all? Just get in touch with it. Might be in your head, might be in your gut, might be in your hands, wherever it is, that's perfect. I want you to acknowledge this part because it's likely been there for many years and it pushes you to be perfect because it wants you to have the acceptance, the love, the praise, the attention, all the glory of doing well. So just thank that part and say, thank you for being here for me. Thank you for pushing me to be perfect. I do appreciate your presence in my life. And I'd like to find out from this part, what is the real intention? Once I am perfect or have perfection in this part of my life, what will it bring for me? And I want you to write down that intention that it brings for you. Might want you to avoid something, or it might want you to feel something that's good. Whatever it is, it might initially say, I want to create some stress, which is fine. Maybe it wants to create some pressure. Whatever comes up, just note it down. And whatever word you write down, I want you to ask again this word, whatever the word is, for what purpose? Really staying in tune, staying in touch with that part of your body that's now communicating with you. And just ask it for what purpose? What does that bring for me, for example, when I can relax? And just allow the answer to come and note that down as well. And then look at the latest word that you just wrote down. And again, take a deep breath. Staying connected with that part and just asking it, so for what purpose this particular intention? What does it bring for me and how does it make me feel inside? And go ahead and just immerse yourself in that feeling, what it wants for you, and just acknowledge that and experience that for a moment. This is a wonderful part. You see, every part of us has got a positive intention for us, actually. And then you're going to ask it again. For what purpose? This latest word that came up for you, the latest feeling that you feel. How does it feel inside when I have this feeling? And possibly a couple of other feelings that you've mentioned on your list. And go ahead and write that down. And just feel all that you feel. Now, once you've done this, and you can continue to go up for another 2 or 3, 4 more notches if you like, but you'll start to sense that actually this part has a really good intention for me. And I want you to thank the part. And I want you to ask and possibly negotiate with this part. Is there a more empowering behavior? Is there something else we can do rather than judge myself, rather than push myself till I'm exhausted, rather than overgive? What is the more empowering behavior that we could create together as a team so that we could feel and know inside that we are enough? My best is enough. I'm doing my best, and I cannot go faster or higher than the slowest or the lowest parts of me can go. And to just embrace and accept myself as I am, and to praise myself for my efforts the way I have always done for other people. And now I can do it for myself. So you can just write down a couple more empowering behaviors that would be much more productive, much more enjoyable. You see, when you enjoy doing stuff, you're likely to do lots of it and repeat it and get probably very good at it. So with my painting, I just loved it so much, even though I couldn't paint anything because I hadn't painted since I was 7. But I just kept painting and painting and painting because it was simply so much fun. And I would say now I've probably developed a few skills that I didn't even have before. So I raised my standards without even trying to. So just thinking of anything else that comes to your mind, and just go ahead and note that down. And then the 4th step is to take self-accepting actions, to allow yourself to rest at times, to allow yourself to have a beginner's mindset and just fail lots of times or do it really badly or really ugly. Whatever it is, to just go ahead and take a bit of a gamble. And I invite the younger part of you, that carefree little girl inside of you, to come out and play. And you wouldn't judge her, would you? If you were young and innocent and carefree, you would just say, well, she's just learning. Look at her. She's making such a great effort. Wonderful. So I want you to decide, and choose with your conscious mind some self-accepting actions. I remember when I was training my house help to make cookies, she was so scared of burning the cookies. And I said to her, what if you just allowed yourself to burn the cookies? And she's like, what? It's like, I allow you. So me being her employer, obviously. She said, okay, fine. I'm going to dare to burn the cookies. And would you believe it? She makes the best chocolate chip cookies in the world. So if you ever want some, let me know. Yeah. And this all came from a self-acceptance rather than a fear of judgment from self or from others. And finally, listen regularly, encourage yourself, speak to yourself as you would your younger niece or little sister or your daughter. Just be loving and kind to yourself. Watch your language as you speak to yourself. Watch the tone inside. And as you know, I work with women one-to-one. You can always get in touch for more information. I have some freebies. You can follow me on Instagram at nlpwithshilpa.com. And the info about my work is on my website, www.theshilpa.com. All right, enjoy yourself till we meet again. Lots of love. Bye-bye.